Hello and welcome to Northway. Well, this is a view you don't see very often. The station with the roof off. I've taken the roof off and moved away part of the platform because there's a bit of a problem here. One of my favourite views when I'm making a video is the train pulling into the station. Now just take a look at this clip. Did you notice the unrealistic bunny hop that the loco did? Well, the track has gone wrong. Well, it's been down 7 years now, so I suppose it's quite good. But I believe the board here, there's a junction that goes here between two boards, and I believe, well, probably both of them, but certainly this one has warped a little bit, because look. Look at the gap we got there. And look. Look how that is not flat anymore. So I'm going to have to dig up a bit of track here and try and fix that. Of course, there's always more to these jobs than you think, because I've had to remove these dropper wires here, and there is some more here which I will have to remove. Then I'll have to dig up the track, probably about 15 centimeters either side of that join, and then dig up all the ballast, make it all level, and then put it all back together and hope it works. Well, here goes. Well, I finished the destruction. Here's the two bits of track I'm going to fix in there. It took quite a while to grind away all that ballast. Set pretty solid. Okay, time to start rebuilding. Well, while we're closed for maintenance, I've removed a board here so I can get at the track underneath. The reason being, I'm trying to use this particular double slip with an electro frog, which it didn't have originally, but just here I'm using the conductive paint, which actually does work to make it into an electro frog. But you need to keep painting it. The paint wears off, that's the only trouble. So I'll just do that. Well, here comes my 4MT Mogul, which only picks up on 6 driving wheels, if you remember. Beautiful. Okay, tracks are in place. Look at that, lovely and straight. In both directions. Okay, let's do take 2. That's what I call smooth. I feel like I want to see it again from a different angle. I'm so pleased. Look at that. Okay, so I've reballasted and I put a bit of sleeper grime on there. That's all back to good as new. So some slightly bad news. When I switched on to test everything, two things went wrong. Firstly, this set of points here failed to operate, and secondly, all the signals, the signal lights, did not come on. So what's going on, I asked myself. Well, for a lot of the signals I used these, which is the Hornby R406 colour light, which use bulbs, and for some of them I've got things like this which use LEDs. And for the power source I've been using this humble arrangement. Well, really this is part of the budget idea of this railway. So this transformer throws out 16 volts and it comes straight through the control unit, and you get an uncontrolled output here, 16 volts AC, and that powers all the signal lights. This is R965, a Hornby control unit, have a heat operated fuse. So if there's a bit too much current flowing, your heat operated fuse gets warm and the current stops. Now this is what I think has been happening. Well, if it will focus, maybe you can see the bottom line of the writing there says output 16 volts 800 milliamps. I really need to know what current is flowing out of this control unit into my signals. Well, I would like to know how much current is going through my signals circuit, but because it's AC, I can't use my multimeter to measure AC, because AC is alternating current, and I think in the UK it changes 50 times a second. So you cannot use your B&Q multimeter, as they say in the US, to measure current. It will only measure current when it's DC. Anyway, I've got here a bulb, which is the type of bulb, it's a spare bulb for a Hornby R406 colour light signal, and I've got a 12 volt, standard 12 volt over here, DC supply. So let's just see. Well, I don't know if you can read that, but it says 0.1 of an amp, which is 100 milliamps. See, you're learning stuff, aren't you, in this video? 100 milliamps. Well, I have 10 of those flowing in the circuit. That's an amp, isn't it? So another thing I've got two of these, a relay. Now I had to install the relay to operate one of the LED signals. all that. It's a long story. It's all explained in the video entitled Some Things I Learned the Hard Way. But I want to measure out how much current one of these takes as well. So here we go. It's all very fiddly, this. I need about 4 pairs of hands. There, it says 0.18. 0.18, so that's 180 milliamps. Call it 200 milliamps. I have 2 of those, that's 400 milliamps. Plus the 10 lights makes 1.4 amps. And I'm not counting the LEDs, because the LEDs take next to no current at all, but they'll take something. So 1.4 amps is what's flowing through my signal circuit. Well, this heat activated fuse, I think it's called a thermistor, and they do say that over the years these thermistors get less and less tolerant, so I think that's what's happened. Well, it is a wonder that that other system ever worked, but I've replaced it with this little bargain which I picked up on eBay, and it says 5 amps output, and our signals are working. So fingers crossed, all is well at Northway.